Coronation Street fans were left making the same complaint on behalf of Vicky Myers after her latest portrayal of DS Lisa Swain in the long-running show. The actress, and her character, is a fan favorite on the show, having first appeared in the role back in 2021 before becoming a regular cast member of the ITV soap last year. In the last 12 months alone, Corrie fans have seen Lisa face her fair share of trials and tribulations, while also finding love with underworld factory boss Carla Connor. And it will be her girlfriend who will be left picking up the pieces in upcoming scenes as the detective sergeant deals with the death of one of her own. This week in Corrie, viewers saw Lisa being supportive of Craig Tinker as he started his latest placement with CID. But not everyone was as welcoming, as DC Kit Green didn't seem to want to have the police officer shadowing him. Despite this, Craig excitedly arrived for his placement and headed out to shadow Kit, not knowing that he had other things on his mind, as he recently discovered that Brodie Michaelis could be his biological son. Birthday boy Kit was soon seen getting on the wrong side of childhood pal Mick Michaelis once again, before dropping a comment about his wife, Lou, not being as loyal as he'd like to think, sending Mick into an aggressive spiral. Meanwhile, Craig was nervously planning an evening date, while also trying to impress Kit with his knowledge and making an effort for his birthday. But after being shouted at by his mentor as he dared to ask if they'd be doing much actual work, a despondent Craig was seen telling DS Lisa Swain that he didn't think Kit rated his work. Unimpressed by Kit, Lisa urged him to put his uniform back on and prove Kit wrong, but to let her know if she had any more bother with the detective constable. But her decision has now come back to haunt her. After Craig investigated a disturbance at Mick and Lou's address, he ended up giving chase to Mick. Having lost him, he radioed to the control room that he was going out on patrol. A short while later, Craig was seen giving Lisa a call, but when she didn't answer, as she declined his call to take a new statement from Sean Tully over his own violent attack at the hands of Mick, he left her a message in which he was hyped himself up about making it to CID one day. But he was soon distracted and was seen pulling Mick over in his van and wanting to breathalyze him, having pursued him under suspicion of drink driving. However, Mick became convinced that Craig was in corrupt Kit's pocket and knocked the breathalyzer out of the officer's hand. Craig once again sprang into action and wanted to arrest Mick. But as Mick headed to his van and pulled out a baseball bat, Craig tried to talk him down, but Mick used it to attack him. Mick ordered Craig to get up, but when he didn't move, he took his bodycam and fled the scene, leaving a motionless Craig bleeding on the ground. It was then in Wednesday's May 21, Corrie that viewers saw Maria Windes find Craig in the precinct before calling for help. She stayed with him and called out as the ambulance pulled up to the scene. Asha Allahan leaped into action, and Sarah Platt stumbled across the incident and rushed over. She questioned what had happened, while a shaken Maria is seen covered in Craig's blood. As he stirred, Craig struggled to explain what happened to Asha. Soon after, Lisa arrived and shouted out for Craig, who was left shocked at the severity of his injuries. They wasted no time in getting Craig to the hospital, where he was joined by Lisa, who promised to stay by his side as she blamed herself for encouraging him to go back on the beat. When Asha returned to Craig's bedside at the end of her shift, she told Lisa not to blame herself and agreed to stay with him while Lisa headed back to the station to try and catch his attacker. Later, things appeared positive for Craig when he woke up and seemed ready to give his colleague, Jess, his official statement. However, he wasn't able to give her the information she needed, as his condition suddenly deteriorated, with the doctors forced to perform CPR. When it became clear that the CPR wasn't working, Craig was officially declared dead, marking the tragic end of PC Tinker, while Jess, Maria, and Kirk Sutherland watched on with devastation. Aside from Coulson's final performance as Craig, Corrie fans were flocking to social media to praise Vicky. They shared their annoyance that she hadn't been included in the long list for this year's National Television Awards alongside her co-stars, including Carla actress Allison King. Margaret Taxon said, "She is really an amazing cop and an amazing boss. The way she ran over him. She felt so responsible, and her words to Craig are so deep. I don't think she thought about Becky. I think in that moment thought about Carla, and for the record, she needs her." TV Musings 22 commented, "The switch Vicky does from Lisa to DS Swain is so subtle, but so brilliant it should be studied. Sorry, why the bloody hell is she not on the list for an NTA? Her acting skills never miss." Corey. Sorlinations wrote, "Reminder that she can convey more with a facial expression than some can with a whole page of dialogue. Official tays, are you serious, Corey?" The Connor Swains echoed, "The transition from Lisa to DS Swain is flawless. How Fix Myers isn't up for Best Serial Drama Performance at the official tays is beyond me. Vicky is a powerhouse performer. She has delivered some of the most emotionally charged and moving scenes we've seen."